All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of Electronics, and in this video, we'll be looking at word problems. Okay, so let's start with 67. Number 67, a manufacturer can produce a board game at a cost of $12 per unit after an initial fixed retooling investment of $12,500. The games can be sold for $22 each to retailers. Okay, A, write a function that gives a manufacturing cost when end games are produced. Okay, so end games, we don't know how many games are being produced at this point. So let's go ahead and write the equation. We know that the base, okay, this is 12,500. This is your fixed cost. Okay, so no matter what happens, you will need to pay this money. Okay, every month, for example. Okay, examples of fixed costs include rent, it could be utilities, it could be your lease, okay, it could be your telephone expenses, okay? So fixed costs, basically irrespective of, okay, the total units that you produce, okay, or your demand, okay, for your product in the market. Okay, so when it comes to fixed costs, okay, even if you were to produce 0 units, okay, even if you were to keep your shop, okay, closed 24/7, okay, for example, okay, you would still need to pay your rent, okay, because the shop is under your name. Okay, so this is an example of fixed costs. Okay, next you have your operating expenses or variable costs. Okay, so when it comes to variable costs, okay, this has to do with cost that is based on the number of units that you produce. Okay, so if you operate a machine, for example, to make something, okay, you have depreciation expense on the machine. Okay, you have the cost of buying goods, okay, buying inventory to make that product. Okay, you have the expenses relevant to hiring people, okay, to make that product. Okay, so on and so forth. Advertising, sales, okay, distribution, okay, delivery, so on and so forth. So these are examples of, okay, variable expenses. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this question over here. Write a function that gives the manufacturing cost when end games are produced. So we know that we're talking about a board game, excuse me, and the cost of producing 1 unit is $12 plus your fixed cost of 12,500. So 12x plus 12,500. Okay, so cost of producing 1 unit, so C equals 12x. This is 12x plus 12,500. All right, so 12x plus 12,500. Okay, write a function that gives the revenue from selling end games to retailers. Okay, so now your revenue, okay, this is your cost, this is your revenue, and we know your revenue will be 22x because the game can be sold for $22 each. Okay, we don't know how many units, so x represents number of units, 22x. Okay, next question, write a function that gives the profit from producing and selling end units. Okay, so we know that your gross profit, okay, GP, okay, this will be R minus C. Okay, or profit equals R minus C. Okay, so gross profit equals revenue minus cost, for example. Right? Okay. On your income statement, your gross profit will be your net income take away, okay, cost of goods sold, okay, for example. Okay, or revenue take away cost of goods sold. Okay, so over here profit equals revenue, okay, or sales take away cost of goods sold. So we know that when we sub in, okay, the values for C and R for cost and revenue, okay, we get 22x minus 12x, okay, plus 12,500. Okay, So we know that your profit will be 22x minus 12x minus 12,500. Okay. So when you remove the brackets, this sign will turn negative. So your profit equals 22 minus 12. Okay, this will be 10x minus 12,500. Okay, now they're asking for a function that gives a profit from producing and selling n units. Okay, and the next question, how many units must be sold to earn a profit of at least 37,500? So we know your P equals 37,500. And if you isolate for x, this becomes 37,500 plus 12,500 divided by 10 equals x. Okay, with x representing total number of units. Okay, so we know that 37,500 plus 12,500 divided by 10 equals 5,000. So we know that x equals 5,000 units. This will be your solution. Okay, so when you produce 5,000 units, given your fixed and operating expenses, given your fixed and variable expenses, okay, you will make a profit of $37,500. All right, so let's look at the next question further down. Okay, so further down you have another question. This is number 68. A vending machine can be leased at a cost of $90 per month. All right, so you have a vending machine. It can be leased for $90 per month. Okay, so it can be leased at a cost of $90 per month. The items used to stock the machine can be purchased for 50 cents each and sold for $1.25. Okay, so let's say this is a vending machine for snacks and pop. Okay, now whatever's inside the vending machine, whether it be snacks, pop, okay, or any other item, let's say toys, okay, the cost of each toy, for example, or each snack or each pop is 50 cents. Can you sell it for $1.25? Okay, the fixed cost, okay, let's say to rent the space, okay, or to lease the space is $90 per month. So we know that this is your base, okay, so 90, okay, plus 50x or 0.50x will give you your cost. Okay, so cost of leasing and stocking the vending machine. So in order for you to find C equals your fixed expenses, so $90 to lease the space, and then you have 50 cents each. So 50 cents, 0.50, let's say X. Okay, this is your variable cost of producing the unit, okay, of producing the product, okay, or stocking the product, okay, or buying the product. Okay, this is a vending machine. Okay, so it costs you around 50 cents to stock a pop or a snack or a toy, okay, in the vending machine. And the revenue over here, okay, so the revenue will be $1.25 each. So sold for $1.25 each. So we know that R is 1.25x. All right, so if we sub in the values, you can figure out your profit. So your profit equals your revenue take away cost. So profit equals, okay, 1.25x minus 90 plus 50x. Okay, so your P equals 1.25 x minus 90, okay, minus 50x. All right, so 1.25 take away 50. This will be 1.25 take away 50. This will be 75x. So P equals 75x minus 90. Okay, so P equals 75x minus 90, and this is your equation for profit. Now, based on this equation, they're asking you, okay, how many units do you need to produce, or how many units do you need to stock in the vending machine to break even? All right, so we know that when you break even, your profit is 0. Okay, so we know that P equals 0. So this will be 0 equals 0.75x minus 90, which means that your x will be 90 divided by 0.75. Okay, so 90 divided by 0.75, this will be 120. Okay, so your x is 120. All right, so when you produce or when you stock 120 units in your vending machine, you can break even. Okay, anything more than that will earn you profit. And to verify, to check the solution, you can sub in this value x in each of these equations. Okay, number 1 and number 2. And see, okay, if your cost or C equals your revenue. Okay, C equals R. All right, so apart from that, this is Ubaid on behalf of Electronics. Have yourself a great day.